In 2024, a man sat on a podcast and was asked a simple question. How much money have you lost gambling? He paused. Then he said, "The loss is over $100 million. The host went silent. The man wasn't a degenerate. He was one of the most watched people on the internet. And the terrifying part, he kept going. This is what the psychological spiral of gambling looks like when it happens in public and when the cameras are always rolling. Number 1. Felix Lengyel, known online as XQC. He started as a professional Overwatch player, disciplined, competitive, focused. After retiring from esports in 2019, he pivoted to streaming and became, within 2 years, the most watched personality on Twitch. 12 million followers, millions in income, the kind of success that should make a man feel secure. But Felix had always been what psychologists call a sensation seeker, the same drive that made him elite at a video game. The obsessive need for stimulation, the refusal to accept a slow moment, made him uniquely vulnerable to what happened next. He discovered online casino gambling, and the slots were a perfect match for his brain. Fast, constant, every spin a new stimulus. He said it himself on a podcast to Pokimane, "I gamble all the time. I'm addicted." He wasn't joking. He wasn't performing. His own father called him live on stream after reading a news article reporting that Felix had lost nearly $2 million in a single month. The call was streamed to hundreds of thousands of people. His father, switching between English and French, asked him,
Est-ce que t'es correct?
Yeah, of course I'm fine.
J'ai pas m'inquiéter?
Non, pourquoi est-ce que c'est...
In 2023, he signed a $100 million deal with Kick, a platform created by the founders of the casino he gambled on. And the bets grew. He publicly revealed his account statistics on stake. He had placed over 1 million individual bets. His win rate was 10%, and he had wagered in total $3.6 billion. His real losses, confirmed on the Impulsive podcast, crossed $100 million. The government of his home province of Quebec placed him on their official gambling exclusion list.
And I was making jokes. I was like, I'm fucking addicted. And then they made an article saying, this streamer from our region is addicted to gambling. Look at this clip or whatever. And made a big deal about it. And then they took upon themselves, the fucking law of Quebec, the people that the government owned shit. They went to the system and actually put my name as at risk, and they banned me internally from the website.
Because you said you're addicted.
Well, no, because they said I was addicted from the clip or whatever.
Yeah.
Meaning he is legally banned from every casino in Quebec because regulators determined he has a problem. He's 29 years old. The mechanism here is simple and brutal. The same competitive obsession that built his career couldn't be switched off. Every loss was just another game to win back. Felix lost his peace of mind, but the next man lost something he can never buy back, his reputation. Number 2, Tyler Nicknam, known as Trainwrecks TV. Tyler studied analytic philosophy at Arizona State. He is articulate, intelligent, and capable of extraordinary self-awareness, which makes his story not just sad, but genuinely fascinating, because Tyler knew exactly what was happening to him. He said it on stream, repeatedly. You will lose every time.
I'm losing. Do you understand? I am down millions.
This is not sustainable unless you are a large streamer being paid to do it. He was correct, and he kept going anyway. In 2021, he disclosed he had lost $2 million gambling off-stream and was publicly chasing his losses, placing more bets to try to recover what he'd already lost. Chasing losses is one of the clearest clinical markers of gambling disorder. By January 2022, he revealed on a live stream that over 9 months, he had wagered $22.9 million and lost $12.9 million of it. The admission was almost accidental. A friend made a comment suggesting he was close to even. Tyler snapped back, "Close to even? I'm still down $12.9 million. That's not close to even. That's not even in the neighborhood of even." By 2023, he claimed to need $90 million just to break even on his overall gambling history. He co-founded Kick, the competitor platform to Twitch, giving him a financial stake in the very ecosystem that amplified his compulsion. He had reportedly earned $360 million in gambling-related sponsorships over 16 months.
I've been paid $360 million for 16 months of gambling.
And by 2024, records suggested he had wagered $18 billion in crypto on stake. The most disturbing detail, Tyler placed a "do not gamble" warning at the top of his own streams. He linked addiction hotlines. He watched viewers lose money chasing his example. He understood the mechanism completely, and understanding it made no difference. Tyler lost his credibility, but the next man lost his freedom, and the money was never even really his. Number 3, Aubrey Graham, known as Drake. Drake is not a streamer. He is one of the most successful musicians in history, with a net worth estimated in the hundreds of millions. But his gambling story belongs in this video for one reason. It is the clearest example of what happens when a platform manufactures the illusion of a gambler to sell the game to everyone else. In 2022, Drake signed a reported $100 million annual endorsement deal with Stake, the crypto casino. What followed was a carefully curated public performance of high-stakes gambling. He live-streamed sessions. He posted losses on Instagram. He let the internet watch him bet enormous sums, sometimes wagering over $124 million in a single month, disclosing in one instance that he was down $8 million. The internet called it the Drake curse. Every team he bet on seemed to lose. The narrative wrote itself. But here is what the lawsuits allege. And there are now multiple federal lawsuits, including a RICO filing. The money Drake displayed on screen was not his own. It was house money provided by Stake, used to create a realistic-looking gambling show for his 150 million Instagram followers. His losses were not losses. They were a marketing budget, and a man watching from his couch, thinking he could replicate what he was seeing, was not watching a gambler. He was watching an advertisement. A Missouri man who lost money on Stake filed a class action lawsuit. 2 Virginia consumers filed a federal RICO suit in December 2025. The lawsuits allege that Drake's streams created what they call the Drake effect, drawing younger, impressionable audiences into illegal gambling, based on the belief that if Drake was doing it, it was safe and winnable. Drake lost his credibility, but the next man lost everything and asked for help one time and was told it was his own fault. Number 4. Charles Barkley. Before XQC, before Trainwreck, before streaming existed, there was Charles Barkley, one of the greatest NBA players of his generation, an 11-time All-Star, and by his own admission, a man with a gambling problem he could not shake for decades. Barkley was always blunt about it. Do I have a gambling problem? Yeah, but I can afford to gamble. That quote appeared in a newspaper interview and seemed almost funny at the time. It did not age well. His game was blackjack. His appetite was enormous. He reportedly lost $5 million in a single crap session in Las Vegas. He once wrote a check for $1.25 million to cover losses at a casino table. He was sued by a Las Vegas casino for failing to pay back $400,000 in gambling markers, credit extended by the casino itself, specifically designed to keep high-value players at the table. The psychological mechanism is well documented. Casinos identify compulsive spenders and extend them credit, knowing that the debt creates pressure to keep playing to win it back. The total losses attributed to Barkley over his gambling career are estimated at over $10 million. He has spoken about it publicly, calling it his competitive problem rather than an addiction, suggesting the issue ran deeper than simple thrill-seeking. Gambling for Barkley was a replacement arena, a place where his competitiveness could keep expressing itself after his basketball career ended. The casino understood that perfectly. The casino always does. Barkley eventually slowed down, crediting friends who confronted him directly. But unlike the streamers who could hide behind a screen, Barkley's spiral played out in public, in courtrooms, in newspapers, in casino back offices where markers are signed at 2 a.m. Barkley survived it. The final man on this list did not survive intact. Number 5. Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson is a name older audiences will recognize immediately. 6 major championships. One of the most recognizable golfers in the history of the sport. A man who spent 30 years as one of the faces of professional golf. Beloved, trusted, sponsored by some of the most prestigious brands in the world. And behind that image, according to his own admissions and subsequent reporting, he was hemorrhaging money at a scale that is genuinely difficult to process. Over 3 decades, Mickelson wagered an estimated $1 billion on gambling. His total reported losses reached $100 million. The scale of it was hidden in plain sight for years, protected by the fact that Mickelson was so successful that the losses didn't immediately collapse his life the way they would for an ordinary person. The psychological driver here was not dopamine or competition in the Barkley sense. It was what researchers call action-seeking, the need for something to be at stake at all times. Mickelson was close to legendary sports bettor Billy Walters, and according to Walters, Mickelson once attempted to place a $400,000 bet on Team USA to win the 2012 Ryder Cup, a tournament he himself was competing in. He wanted skin in the game even when he was already in the game. The addiction eventually cost him more than money. His relationship with Walters led to an insider trading investigation. His reputation, built over 3 decades, was publicly re-examined. He came forward, admitted the addiction, and sought help. But the billion-dollar wager total, placed quietly over 30 years by a man everyone thought had everything under control, remains one of the most staggering hidden gambling stories in sports history. The spiral, in Mickelson's case, lasted a generation. The casinos, the bookmakers, and the private bettors around him knew, and none of them stopped it.